Good evening, students. Welcome to the General Studies Paper 1 Prelims Examination 2024. Right. My name is Yadagiri. I teach Science and Technology. Right. I am faculty of Science and Technology. So, first we are going to see the questions that are there from the Science and Technology. Right. We can say comparatively, little bit, first things first. Comparatively, if you see, there are more questions, little bit more questions from the subject of science and technology. Earlier years, like, questions used to range from, like, around 6 to 7 questions used to be there. Previous year if you see, 2023, there were around 7 questions. This year, if you see, 10 questions, approximately 10 questions have been asked from science and technology. In this way, we can consider, improvement from the previous years. That too, most of the questions I would say they are comparatively tougher. Because why I would say the questions are comparatively tougher, because all of them are asked from the emerging technologies. Most of the things you did not hear till now. It's very difficult to cover them and study them. They are mostly discussed in the websites or aspects with respect to United States of America, etc. So most of the things are present there. They have not yet come to India. So this is the problem with the science and technology, and there will be an advantage also, because little bit awareness if you have in the science and technology, you can comfortably answer all these questions. If you have some awareness about the day-to-day happenings in the science and technology, you can comfortably answer the questions in science and technology. That advantage is there, but little bit disadvantage is also there. That the most of the technologies this year they have been asked, they are not yet came to India, right? So this is the video. This is the issue. So with this brief introduction, we will go and see the questions that are asked in the science and technology paper, right? Right. So first question. Which one of the following words or phrases make sure every year, either in the environment or in science and technology, this type of something description will be given about something, and in options that thing will be asked. Every year you will see one question like this. So this year also this type of question is there. Which one of the following words or phrases is most appropriately used to denote an interoperable network of 3D virtual worlds that can be accessed simultaneously by millions of users who can exert property rights over virtual rights? So you can comfortably eliminate the first option. It is not about big data analytics, right? It is also not about cryptocurrency. Yeah, cryptocurrency, the technology cryptography. So this is something coding, something related to coding and decoding the messages. So this is also you can comfortably eliminate. This most suitable explanation, the given explanation most suitable to the concept or the development of metaverse, right? If you little bit idea about the emerging technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, it is an improvement. Metaverse is an improvement of all this technology, augmented virtual reality, augmented reality, etc., etc. So virtual matrix is also something virtual, something you feel like going for that option, but the technology is never there close to metaverse. So easily, if you have some understanding about the metaverse, you can comfortably answer this question, right? So correct option is option C. Correct option is metaverse, right? All right. So this is the first question. One more thing I was saying, if you are a fan of Marvel Studios, they have brought in lot of movies. So in that, some movie related to some movie name takes this metaverse, multiplex of metaverse, like that there is mentioned. So if you are a fan of Marvel Studios and a fan of movies, you can comfortably answer this question, right? Right. Next question. The question is, with reference to radio isotope, thermoelectric generators, RTGs, in shortly they are called as, consider the following statements, right? Very emerging, important and emerging technology. Like I was mentioning, the most of the technologies did not yet come to India. So one such technologies which are actually now used by NASA, USA NASA, and not yet come to India, right? However, we will see the option. So first option is, first statement is, RTGs are miniature fission reactors, right? So before going into the options, let briefly we will try and understand what is meant by RTGs. A radioactive material is there, plutonium 239. So these RTGs, they are used in spacecrafts, right? They are used in spacecrafts. What these RTGs will do? They will have a radioactive nuclear material in them. As the spacecraft or spaceships, as it moves on, heat will be generated. So this radioactive material uses that heat and it undergoes nuclear fission, right? I think, I hope you have aware of the two concepts, what is meant by nuclear fission and what is meant by nuclear fusion. Another technology is also there, nuclear fusion, right? So this plutonium 238, it is a radioactive material and it undergoes fission. And whenever nuclear fission takes place, very well, lot of heat or energy is being generated, right? Energy will be released. So that heat or energy can be used to meet the requirements, energy requirements in the spacecraft or spaceship. Very well, they do not have connection or physical connection with the earth. So they should have their own energy resources in the spacecraft when astronauts are traveling, right? So that is the concept behind RTGs. So with that knowledge, we will see the options now, right? So options are, RTGs are a miniature fission reactors. Yes, we can take this sentence as correct, because fission is taking place, we are harnessing the fission energy and we are utilizing it. So that can be called as a nuclear reactor, but it is a miniature reactor, very, very small reactor. So this statement is correct. Second statement, RTGs are used for powering the onboard systems of spacecrafts. Yes, this is a correct statement. So I already mentioned they are actually used in spacecrafts. So the energy produced from them used to power the onboard systems that are there in the spacecrafts or international space stations where astronauts live, etc., etc. That will be, RTGs will be used for that purpose. Third statement, RTGs can use plutonium 238, which is a byproduct of weapons development. Yes, this is a correct statement. Various other methods are also there for producing plutonium 238, but mostly generally the plutonium 238 comes as a byproduct of weapons development. Weapons development, I mean the nuclear weapons development, like atomic bombs and hydrogen bombs, right? That is plutonium 238 comes as a byproduct of this missiles development. So all the statements given here are correct. So correct option is option D. Statements 1, 2 and 3 are correct. So correct option is option D, right? Next question. Question is, which one of the following is synthesized in human body that dilates blood vessels and increases blood flow? So very straightforward and a direct question, but the problem here is you should have a complete understanding of the nitrous gases or the gases that are originating from the nitrogen, right? Then only you will be in a position to answer this question. However, the correct option is option A. The nitric acid, which is considered as a poisonous gas with respect to organisms, animals including human beings. So whenever nitric gas is produced or enters into human body or bodies of the animals, it dilates the blood vessels and it increases the blood flow. So it can become sometimes a life-threatening incident for the animals or human beings whenever excessive nitric acid generates in the body, right? So correct option is option A. Option is nitric acid, right? Next question, question numbers. So just try to be aware of the question numbers. To discuss the questions, I am using the series C, right? So A, B, C, D series is there. So I am using the series C. So with the series C, you try to match your question numbers. Okay, right. When you are evaluating your options, try to match your questions with the series C, right? So in series C, question number 64, that is also a science and tech question, right? Question is, consider the following activities. First one is identification of narcotics on passengers at airports or in aircraft. This is the first one. Monitoring of precipitation. Second statement. Third one is tracking the migration of animals, right? So the question is, in how many of these above activities can the radars be used? So generally, traditionally, we identify or we associated radars with, space activities, guiding the missiles or identifying the missiles that that coming from the enemy countries, and we use radars to detect and destroy them. So in this context only we hear about the radars, but there are lot of wide variety of applications are there for radars. So this is the scope that you have to consider when you are answering the science and technology questions. So the scope is very wider for technologies. Lot of applications are there, so you have to consider all the possible applications, right? So this is one thing you have to remember whenever you are attempting the science and technology questions in the exam, right? So first one is this is correct. When passengers are screened when they are traveling by air, so X-ray scanners will be there. You might have, I think, if you have traveled by flight. So customs checking will be there. The things, the scanners that are used to screen our body, screen our things like whatever the luggage we are taking, they are nothing but radars, right? X-ray rays will be sent and they will be scanned for the forbidden narcotics. So this is a correct option. Monitoring precipitation, that will also can be done by the what should I say, the radars. So weather forecasting or weather monitoring is also an important activity that can be done by the radars, right? So third option is tracking the migration of animals, especially birds. Tracking of spacecraft or the flights, aircrafts, etc. That is possible through the radars. Not only the artificial things, but generally the natural things like birds, animals. We can also track the movement of those what should I say, organisms by using the sensors. So in this, we can track the migration routes of the animals, especially birds. Birds migrate a lot from the northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere and back. So radars are also helpful in that effort. So correct option is option C. All the three mentioned above are correct with respect to radars. So correct option is option C. Next question, consider the following aircraft, right? Aircraft given are Rafale, MiG-29, very well, Rafale, we have recently got the Rafales from the France, right? MiG-29, so they are famous Russian aircrafts. We are importing, or we have lot of MiG series aircrafts in our defense system. Apart from that, Tejas Mk1, Tejas light combat aircraft, that is indigenously developed aircraft, right? So all these aircrafts are given. Question is, how many of the above are considered fifth generation fighter aircraft? So you should know something about the fifth generation aircraft. They have peculiar features, etc. So none of the given items here or aircrafts here, they do not fall under the category of fifth generation. Rafale, it is an advanced aircraft, but it comes under the 4.5 generation of aircraft. Tejas also same, it comes around 4.5 generation of aircrafts. Tejas, or sorry, MiG falls somewhere around fourth generation, like that. Fifth generation aircrafts are very high technology enabled, and they have very much specific features. All the aircrafts that are mentioned are do not come under the fifth generation aircrafts. So correct option is option D. None of the above mentioned are correct, right? So correct option is option D, right? Next question, question number 66 in the series C. Right. Question is, in which of the following are hydrogels used? So I was mentioning many of the technologies did not come into India yet. So one of those technologies is this one, something related to hydrogels. Right. So we will see the statements given about the hydrogels. Right. First statement is controlled drug delivery in patients. So mostly hydrogels are associated, or they have been developed, they have been developed for medical purposes, especially for targeted drug delivery, right? So this technology is something related to the nanotechnology or nanoparticles that are used in the drug delivery. So hydrogels are also used for that. Second statement is mobile air conditioning systems. Yes. So nowadays, recently there is a experiment for using hydrogels for mobile conditioning, the mobile air conditioning systems that are traveling in this space. So what the hydrogels will do, they will absorb the humidity in the air, they will absorb the water vapor in the air. So in that way, they will cool the environment there, in a specific area where that is under the hydrogel. So in this way, when compared to the surrounding regions, the temperature of the area which is under the hydrogel, it will be reduced within few minutes, like 5 to 6 minutes, there will be a reduction of 10 to 20% of the air temperature because of the properties of hydrogels. So this is also correct. Third option is preparation of industrial lubricants. Yes, hydrogel is something related to gel lubrication, so it will also useful for preparation of the industrial gels. So question is, select the correct answer using the code given below. So all the above given are correct. Correct option is option D. All the applications are possible with the hydrogel. Right. Next question. Question number 67 in the series C. Question is, which of the following is the exhaust pipe emission from the fuel cell electric vehicles powered by hydrogen? So to answer this question, you should have understanding about first thing, the hydrogen as a fuel, especially the green hydrogen. I think lot of emphasis was there, few budget before this year, budget before that budget, lot of emphasis was there on the green hydrogen. And second thing you should aware of it is fuel cell or hydrogen fuel cell. Fuel cell. So if you have the understanding of hydrogen fuel cell, it is one of the cleanest forms of energy production. You should aware of this. From the hydrogen fuel cell, when hydrogen is used as a fuel, the only waste that is coming from the fuel cell is H2O, water and hot gas. Right. So combined we can call it as water vapor also. So this is the only waste product that is coming when hydrogen fuel cell used as a battery to run or provide energy for vehicles, etc., etc. So this is the only form of energy. It is no water vapor and water vapor, hot gas, they are not at all considered as a hazardous products with respect to environment. Okay, little bit water vapor, it is a greenhouse, has the greenhouse gas ability, it will cause little bit of greenhouse gas effects. But if you compare to the pollutants like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, etc., etc., and dust particles PM 2.5 and PM 10, it is the one of the cleanest modes of fuel generation. So the only thing that is coming out of exhaust is water vapor. That's why hydrogen is considered as one of the cleanest fuels, right? So you should have awareness about the hydrogen fuel, hydrogen as a fuel and a hydrogen fuel cell. Then you can easily answer this question, right? So this is about this question. So correct option is option D. Water vapor is the correct option. Right. Next question. Recently the term pumped storage hydropower is actually and appropriately discussed in the context of which of the following? Very interesting and one of the state of the art technology, or should I say emerging technology, right? So what is pumped storage hydropower? Very interesting concept. An altitude, two reservoirs will be present. This is reservoir 1, reservoir which is storing water, and reservoir 2 will also be there, R2. They have differentiated by some altitude, some height difference is there. So in lean period where demand for power is least. Let's say in rainy season or winter season, there we will have surplus energy. So when we have the surplus energy, what we can do, we can pump the water that is there in this reservoir to this reservoir 1. So we can pump the water from reservoir 1 to reservoir 2 by using the surplus electricity. So in the peak season, when demand is peak for electricity, let's say in summer season, so now in Delhi we are experiencing a lot of heat. So to cool the environment or place where we live, lot of demand is there for power to run the ACs, etc. So when demand is there, we can release the water from the upper reservoir to lower reservoir, and when by using this water flow potential energy, we can run the turbines, and when the turbines are run, electricity is generated, and electricity can be supplied to the people who are in need. So what is happening here? Here we are storing energy in the form of this, what should I say, pumped storage hydropower. So you understand? So this works as a long-term energy storage strategy, right? Very intelligent and a novel solution. So correct option is long duration energy storage. In this context, pumped storage hydropower is discussed, right? So this is the correct option. Next question, right? So again, one important and very lot of applications are there. So membrane bioreactors are often discussed in the context of which of the below. So very important. Membranes means something related to layers, like that. I think you remember. So when we talk about layers, something we are discussing about filtration, right? So very well, drinking water is a very important stark problem in our country. Many regions in our country do not get clean drinking water, and treatment of waste water is a serious problem in our country. We are not able to find sustainable solutions for treating the waste water. So the membrane bioreactors, they are very useful for treating the waste water, right? So in this context, the question has been asked. Correct option is option D. Membrane bioreactors are used for wastewater treatment, right? So D is the correct option, right? So next question, last question from science and technology topic this year, right? The question is with reference to perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances. They are simply known as PFAS, that are used in making many consumer products. Consider the following statements. I was saying one of the important technologies. I mean, there is no discussion in India about this, and there is no discussion in advanced countries like USA, European Union. So from discussion from there, the question has been taken, right? We will see the statements. Statements are PFAS are found to be widespread in drinking water, food and food packaging materials. So little bit they are found in food packaging products. They are used in packaging material. Apart from that, they are plentifully found in water and food. They are their applications are several. We are using lot of areas. So because of that, they are entering our food chain, and they are contaminating our drinking water and food. So this is first statement. This statement is correct statement. Second one is PFAS are not easily degraded in the environment. Yes, this is also a correct statement. They are not that easily degraded in the environment, right? This statement is also correct statement. Third statement is persistent exposure to PFAS can lead to bioaccumulation. I think bioaccumulation, biomagnification, you might be the elements that are not easily biodegradable in the environment, they keep on accumulating in the bodies of organisms, including human beings. Like many other examples are there. DDT, it is another product. So what happens in the long term? They harm the human body, like they act as a carcinogens. So these problems are there. So this statement is also a correct statement. So correct option is option D. All the statements with respect to PFAS are correct. 1, 2, 3, all the statements are correct. Correct option is D. Right. So these are the 10 questions that are asked from science and technology. I hope they are relatively easy, because for most of them, either all the statements are correct or none of the statements are correct. So whenever you are answering the science and technology questions, try to remember this kind of logic. They tend to be, sometimes, I am not saying always, all the options given are correct, because technology, whenever a technology arises, lot of options will be possible. We have to see it in the light of what should I say, expansionism or optimism, right? So with this we will conclude this discussion about the science and technology, right?